Well, in the last week, a very famous wrestler died. This guy was from the WWE, okay, which is his name, his entertainment name was the Ultimate Warrior. His real name was James Hellwig, and very distinguished-looking guy. But he had gray hair, had really red cheeks, had rosacea, so he had a gluten intolerance, and he died suddenly after being inducted into the Hall of Fame for wrestlers. And he was really, I think, the only guy who ever beat Hulk Hogan. He was the only guy who ever beat Hulk Hogan, right? And died suddenly. And they said, well, they don't know his cause of death yet. You got to do an autopsy. Well, gray hair could have been a ruptured aneurysm. It could have been a cardiomyopathy heart attack. Very common for people who are athletes or do hard physical work to die suddenly, sudden heart death from cardiomyopathy heart disease, a deficiency of a single mineral selenium. He was not on any medications, as it said. He was not sick in any way, shape, or form. In fact, he was working out in gyms, sweating out his nutrients, and just died suddenly after going to one of these events, and he's hugging all his fellow wrestlers and everything, and died later that afternoon. So what's going on here? Well, I want everybody to get a hold of Dead Athletes Don't Lie, the CD. Dead Athletes Don't Lie, the CD. I also want you to get the book, Epigenetics, a new book, The Death of the Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission, and it kind of really looks at exercise compared to epigenetics, exercise versus giving your body the raw materials for your DNA work properly. And then, of course, the book Immortality, the top 20 longevity cultures on Earth, and all of the various physical things they do, work physically 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. If they have 40 times 100, as we do, they don't have doctors, private or government insurance, hospitals, or clinics. And then Rare Earth Bin Cure specifically talks about famous athletes who have died from selenium deficiency and copper deficiency, ruptured aneurysms, cardiomyopathy, heart disease. Now, without bragging, I'm a world's expert on cardiomyopathy heart disease, which is a cause of sudden death in athletes from every sport. I've done 1,700 autopsies in young people who have died of cardiomyopathy heart disease, published, okay, and nobody else has ever done that. So I am an expert on that, just not by intelligence, but certainly by experience. And it's published, so nobody can doubt that it was done. Then, let's look at the statistics for athletes. Let's just take professional athletes combined as a group, as a demographic, all sports combined. The average lifespan is 62. There's never been a professional athlete ever lived to be 100. When you take football players out of that mass group, that demographic of professional athletes, regardless of sport, when you take football players out of there and take out the suicides from the football players, their average lifespan is 51, 11 years less than the average of all sports. So what's going on here? Wait a minute, exercise is supposed to be good for you. Well, exercise is sort of not even necessary, really. People who are proponents of exercise tell you all the benefits of it, but it's a two-edged sword. When you sweat, you're sweating out nutrients. Sweat is not water. It's a soup that contains all the nutrients floating around in your blood. And let's say you're even supplementing. Let's say you're supplementing the 90 essential nutrients. You got the 90 for Life program. But you got rosacea, just like the Ultimate Warrior here, dies at 54. He's got rosacea, and he's working out in the gym, sweating. So let's say he's taking in maybe 25, 30% of what he's supplementing with because he's got gluten intolerance, his intestines are damaged, and so he's absorbing 25, 30%, maybe 15%, somewhere in there, and then he's replacing it with water or one of these other sports drinks that have 2 to 6 nutrients in it. Our Rebound has 100 nutrients in it, and so these guys don't do a very good job of replacing the nutrients they sweat out. They do a pretty good job of replacing fluids, water, so they rehydrate, but they don't take in the nutrients, and this is why athletes are in trouble. This is why people who do physical work and they sweat are in trouble. If they're sweating, of course, and just drinking water, some of these sports drinks have only 2 to 6 nutrients in it. You need Rebound. We actually have professional teams. We've got the New York Globetrotters. We've got the Denver Nuggets. We got athletes from every kind of team you can think of, hockey up in Canada, professional soccer players use our products, boxers. And so these guys are going to do very well compared to the Ultimate Warrior here, who is probably the WWE's next to Hulk Hogan. Those two guys together were probably the biggest money earners for that sort of wrestling league / entertainment group. And he dies at 54, sudden heart disease, or sudden ruptured aneurysm. And so I urge you, whether you're just exercising in a gym 2 days a week, or you do physical work where you're sweating, or you're really working out seriously, and you belong to some running group, or you belong to a team of some kind, whether you're in junior high school or high school, or even grade school, and then maybe you're a professional player or a university athlete, or maybe even a Olympic athlete. We actually have a lot of Olympic athletes who use our programs. And I urge you to do these things. Do not wait till you drop dead suddenly. It's a little bit late then. You want to have a boring medical history. Take the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack for your joints, bones, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue. Take Rebound, our sports drink, and get a hold of that CD, Dead Athletes Don't Lie. The books, Epigenetics, Immortality, Rare Earth Spin Cures, and you'll save yourself. We'll be back with more Truth, Justice, and the Longevity Way after these messages. Okay, Doug, what pearls of wisdom do you have for us today?
I thought we'd talk a bit about Medicare, as we've got a story out from CNN that's headlined, Doctors Collect $77 billion, that's billion with a B, from Medicare. They say Medicare paid doctors and other healthcare providers $77 billion in 2012 alone to care for the nation's elderly, according to federal statistics. They say this unprecedented data, which covers 880 physicians, therapists, labs, and other medical facilities, it's the first time the government has made this information public, as detailed information on services and procedures provided to Medicare patients by individual doctors. It shows that healthcare professionals billed the government and what they were paid. And, of course, the American Medical Association has long battled to keep this data private. Oh, I wonder why, arguing it could be misconstrued, but a federal judge last year lifted the injunction. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services cautioned that against drawing conclusions based purely on the numbers. They say the data doesn't reveal the conditions of the patients, and also doctors don't always get to keep the entire payment, since they may have to reimburse drug companies or other providers for part of the service. Say cancer doctors were among the highest paid, those that focus on blood cancers receiving an average of $367,000, and that's in 1 year, and that's just for Medicare. And they say
$30 million.
Yeah, and they say ophthalmologists also reaped in the big bucks at $327,164. Cardiologists and neurologists who deal with kidney disease were also near the top of the ranks. Federal officials said they were releasing the data to bring more transparency and accountability to Medicare billing and payments, also hoping the public will use the information to help fight fraud. According to the Health Secretary, Kathleen Sebelius, says currently consumers have limited information about how physicians and other healthcare professionals practice medicine. This data will fill the gap by offering insight into Medicare portion of the physician's practice. CMS released the similar information on hospitals last year, which allowed consumers to compare the hospital charges for common inpatient and outpatient services. According to the Inspector General report, looked at $65 billion Medicare payout in each year between 2008 and 2011. Approximately 2% of the physicians were responsible for 25% of the Medicare payments, pulling in more than $500,000 annually. And we wonder why our country's broke.
Exactly. Here's a piece to add to your information. This came out in 2012, and this was from the Institute of Medicine itself. This is an ethics group for medical doctors, right? And they said that 30 cents out of every dollar that doctors bill for and get paid for, 30 cents out of every dollar, well, it includes Medicare, personal payments out of your own pocket, private insurance companies, 30 cents out of every dollar is for fraudulent billing. 30 cents out of every dollar. This is a front-page story in every newspaper in America. Nobody paid attention to it because they thought it was a government thing. No. This is your doctor. 30 cents out of every dollar. This means the doctors billed for and got paid for procedures they did not do. They just had your number and they applied for a payment because they had your number. Also, they did procedures you did not need, and they billed for and got paid for it. And this amounted totally, now get this, Doug, $750 billion a year
Wow.
700. That's $750 billion. That's a third of the medical budget is fraudulent billing by medical doctors. Your doctor's pocketing all that stuff, and you just saw a little slice of it from Medicaid or Medicare, whatever it was, right?
Yeah, it was Medicare.
Medicare. Now, when you take in private insurance companies and out of patients' own pockets, it amounted to $750 billion in fraudulent billings and payments to doctors. Somebody needs to go to jail. Thank you, Doug. We'll be back with more Truth, Justice, and the Longevity Way after these messages. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to Boulder, Colorado. And Joe, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Joe, you're on the air.
Hi, Dr. Wallach. How you doing?
Fine, sir. How can I help you?
I've had a struggle pretty much all my life, and most notably in the last 10, 15 years, with chronic fatigue and depression, mental clarity, and insomnia, and also candida. And I believe the first few are kind of interrelated.
Okay, so you got chronic fatigue, insomnia. What else?
Mental clarity issues.
Okay.
And depression, candida.
Okay, gotcha. All right, now let me ask you some questions here. Do you have any history of skin problems, any eczema, dermatitis, or psoriasis?
Nothing that is not believed to be candida related.
I know, but what does that mean? Do you have rosacea on your face? Do you have itchy rashes under your armpits? I mean, what does that mean?
I'm just seeing a little bit of kind of redness, and it doesn't really itch, but just some redness on the forehead and my nose.
Okay. Yeah, your nose and your forehead, all right. Yeah, if you had lupus, they'd say, oh, that's the butterfly rash from lupus. And if you were pregnant, they'd say, oh, that's the butterfly rash of pregnancy. Then did you ever have any asthma as a kid?
No.
Okay. Did you ever have any belly or intestinal problems like appendicitis?
No, but I believe I do have some digestive issues.
Okay. Now, does that include constipation or diarrhea or bloating or what?
Well, I guess you could throw constipation in there, but with your tangy tangerine, you seem to help that.
Okay, good. All right. So how much do you weigh, sir?
160.
160? All right. All right. Are you on any medication?
Just cacao, raw chocolate.
Yeah, okay, but no medication.
Right.
Okay, no high blood pressure, no diabetes, nothing like that.
Correct.
Okay, good. Well, at 160 pounds, I'm going to tell you, you have a gluten intolerance. That's why you have a red forehead, and I've seen them the patch the size of a dime. I've seen the whole forehead red, nose, cheeks, all this stuff is typical of a rosacea from gluten intolerance, as is the chronic constipation. Hang on, get your pen and paper ready. I'll give you a program for all of your problems here after these messages. Okay, Doug, we're going right back to Colorado and Joe. All right, again, quickly, your diet has to change. Everybody in the household, including spouse, kids, mother-in-law, dog, cat, bird, fish, everybody in the household has got to be gluten-free because of cross-contamination in the laundry, food preparation surfaces, the couch, everybody watches TV, the bed, and all that kind of stuff. And then, from a standpoint of a supplement program at 160 pounds, I would have you take, because you have all this mental stuff, depression, chronic fatigue, insomnia, I'd have you take 2 of the Healthy Heart and Brain Packs per month. 2 Healthy Heart and Brain Packs per month. That will allow you to have 3 of our selenium at breakfast and dinner, 1 ounce of the Osteo FX Plus at breakfast and dinner, 2 scoops of the Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 at breakfast and dinner, 3 of the EFA Pluses at breakfast and dinner, 3 of the EFAs at breakfast and dinner. All that would be accomplished by the 2 Healthy Heart and Brain Packs per month. Then I would throw in the D-Stress capsules, capital D like David dash stress, capital D like David dash stress. Take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month for the metabolism of the brain. And then I would also throw in the Ultimate Daily Tablets. Ultimate Daily Tablets increase the blood circulation of the brain. And so I'd have you take 3 of those twice a day as 1 bottle a month because, in fact, is a large bottle. And then I would throw in the CD Serial Killer, again, because Serial Killer, the CD, will teach you where you're going to find all the hidden gluten places. And also for drinking, I would give up sugar and go to organic. If you're a coffee drinker and tea, I'd go to the Java Fit organic coffees. And we have also the Rebound. It's our sports drink that has 100 nutrients in it. It's going to give you some energy and give you mental clarity. You'll be amazed at what happens here. Give me a call every couple of weeks, Joe. Start the diet today. It's going to take about 3 or 4 days to get product to you in Colorado, but you can start the diet immediately. Okay, well, let's see here. Doug, do we have time to start another one?
We certainly do. Let's head to Pennsylvania. And Rodney, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Rodney. You're on the air.
Hi, Dr. Wallach.
Yes, how can I help you, sir?
I quit you on Benny Hinn's show, and I'm calling to say that I'm a diabetic and I'm on dialysis. But now I've got my sugar under control, so I'm just concerned about the kidneys.
Okay, well, I'm assuming you're on either pills or insulin or both. What kind of medication are you on for the diabetes?
I'm not taking anything.
Okay, controlling that with diet?
I got a pretty good diet, yes. I went
Okay,
from
now,
9.2.
I'm sorry, say again?
I went from a 9.2 to a 6.3.
Okay, you're using Canadian values there. If you're talking about blood sugar levels, are you talking about A1C hemoglobin? What are you talking about?
Yes, the A1C, yes.
Okay. Well, hang on. We'll be back with more Truth, Justice, and the Longevity Way, and Rodney after these messages. Okay, Doug, let's go right back to Pennsylvania and Rodney. What do you weigh, Rodney?
170.
170, close enough. Okay. Anything else other than the diabetes and the dialysis?
Okay, now when I was young, I was out in the streets, smoking, drinking, taking drugs. So that might have been the cause of my kidneys going bad.
Mm-hmm. Probably not. Okay. It's eating fried foods and salad dressings and cooking oils and stuff like that. Because when you have kidney failure on dialysis, there's really nothing wrong with your kidney. It's actually the blocked arteries in the kidneys that cause this problem. Okay, Shar, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, this is one of your things. This guy, 170 pounds, he's got type 2 diabetes, which he's kind of managing with dietary restrictions, but he's on dialysis. What would you do for this guy?
Well, he needs Ultimate Daily for the kidney failure, but even though he's got his blood sugar thing under control, I'd still give him the healthy blood sugar pack.
Very good, very good.
I take it and I don't have diabetes.
Yeah, exactly, for prevention. The fact is he has a propensity for type 2 diabetes, which he's had to consciously manage, right? Very good thinking. Now, Rodney,
yes.
What is do you take your blood sugar every morning or once a week or anything like that?
Nah, I don't. I just check it when I go to dialysis. They check it for me.
Okay, do you know what the numbers run when you go there?
Like around 1. I said, when I check it myself, it may run like around 88 to maybe like 120.
Okay, well, that's pretty good for just controlling with diet. That's very good. Okay, well, here we go. 170 pounds, and Shar is exactly right. I'd get you off of some bad stuff. Absolutely no fried foods. I'm going to get you off all gluten, no fried foods, no wheat, barley, rye, and oats, no processed meats with nitrates and nitrites. That means no deli slices, sandwich meats, sausage, ham, bacon, bologna, salami, pastrami, pepperoni, jerky, that kind of stuff. I'd also have you get rid of oils. It's olive oil, coconut oil, margarine, mayonnaise, salad dressings, cooking oils. And again, no gluten, no wheat, barley, rye, and oats, no sugar, natural or processed, and lots of vegetables, eggs, red meat, chicken, fish. You're probably doing a lot of high-protein stuff, which is very, very good. You got to stay away from gluten, stay away from carbs, and the supplement program will go like this. As Shar said, I'd have you take 2 of the healthy blood sugar packs per month. That'll allow you to have 1 ounce of the Osteo FX Plus at breakfast and dinner, 2 scoops of the Tangerine NutriCrystals 2.0 twice a day, 3 of the EFA Pluses twice a day, and 3 of the Sweeties at breakfast and dinner. And it wouldn't hurt and the 2 healthy blood sugar packs will cover that. I'd also have you take the Ultimate Daily tablets. Since you're on dialysis, you're doing a pretty good job and everything else, I'd have you take 6 of those Ultimate Daily tablets. So let's start out there per day. That's 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner. That's 1 bottle per month. I want you to call me every time you go in, or every time they test you, they're going to test your creatinine levels. Every month they're going to test all kinds of stuff. I want to know the test results when you go to the dialysis and they do test you for your blood. Give me a call every 2 weeks, and certainly when they give you that monthly test. And we're able to get people off of dialysis very quickly. We're able to get their blood sugars down to where they don't need medication, although you're doing a pretty good job, not perfect, but a pretty good job by managing your diabetes with diet. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to Connecticut. And Shari, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Shari, you're on the air.
Hi, Dr. Wallach.
Hi, how can we help?
I have an 11-year-old Cocker Spaniel, and she's 30 pounds, but she had tore her left paw in the back, the rear paw, her ligament. Of course, they want to do surgery on it, but I do the glucogel, and I do the Orthodex, the powder.
Orthodex, okay. Right. Yeah, now, how long ago, wait a minute, how long ago did this injury happen?
2 weeks ago.
Okay. Now, I'm assuming the dog is limping.
Yes.
Okay. Now, did you take the dog to a veterinarian?
I did.
And what did they say was exactly the injury?
They said that it was a torn ligament, the knee. I don't remember the exact name that they used, but the knee part of the ligament.
Okay, so the knee part is called the stifle in the dog?
That's correct.
The equivalent of our knee is be a stifle? Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so he says there's a torn ligament in that stifle?
Yes.
Okay, how much? Your dog weighs 30 pounds.
Yes.
Okay, Shar, this is a Shar thing. What would you do for a 30-pound dog? You're a dog lady.
Arthrodex.
Well, she's already given Arthrodex, so 30 pounds, that's one scoop in the dog's food every day. And then how many glucogel would you give a dog that has a ligament problem with 30 pounds?
Well, 30 pounds, probably, I'd give him about 6 a day.
Yeah, 5 to 6, exactly right. And then after the dog stops limping, you can cut it down to just say like 3 for maintenance in the dogs, especially if the dog's active and jumping off and on chairs and couches and running around up and down stairs and things. I would add a maintenance dose of the 3 to 5, depending on how vigorous the dog is, for maintenance. But start out with 5 or 6, and that's going to speed up the healing of this. And it wouldn't hurt to get a bottle of the CM cream. You can rub that on the dog's stifle on the inside as well as the outside and the front side. Really be lavish with it, and it'll relieve the dog's discomfort for a couple of hours. You might have to apply it 3 times a day. That's the CM cream. Then call us every couple of weeks if you would, Shari, and let us know how doggy's doing. They're a part of the family. We love them. Okay, Doug, let's start another one.
All right, let's head to Charlotte, North Carolina, and Derek, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Derek, you're on the air.
Hello, Dr. Wallach. How you doing?
Fine, sir. Thank you. How can we help you?
Good. I was calling. I have a cousin that has Alzheimer's, and I was trying to help him. So what I did was I got an essential 90-pack just to start out with.
Okay.
And I think you were saying eat a lot of eggs, and then you add your Smart FX and stuff like that.
Yep. And how long ago did you do that?
We just got it.
Okay, good. Now, one other thing I would add, and that's the Ultimate Daily tablets, because there's actually several dementias here. The most common one, I think, is vascular dementia, where the same thing that plug the arteries in your heart and your eyes and your kidneys are the same thing that plug the arteries in your brain, vascular dementia. So the Ultimate Daily tablets are going to increase the blood flow through the brain and get blood flowing through obstructed arteries even in the brain. Have to, change his diet, of course. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, barley, rye, oats. Get all the inflammatory stuff out of there. And secondly, the Korsakoff syndrome is a deficiency of a single vitamin. And then there's Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, which is Korsakoff syndrome, the deficiency of that vitamin plus MS mixed into it. There's Alzheimer's disease, and there's B12 dementia. And so what would you give? How much does this guy weigh, Derek?
I think he weighs a little over 200 pounds.
Okay, so let's say give or take a little, 200 pounds. Char, what would you give this guy with dementia that's been diagnosed as Alzheimer's disease?
I'd give him the de-stress, too.
Okay, de-stress. And 2 healthy heart and brain packs.
Yep, 2.
Yep, in the Ultimate Daily for vascular dementia. And as you said, Smart FX. I'd give him 9 of those a day. That's the raw materials for the neurons to make neurotransmitters for memory, and also regardless of the dementia, and also for cognition, problem solving. So that's where I would go. And give us a call every couple of weeks. Let us know how your cousin's doing, Derek. Stick with us. We'll be back with more Truth, Justice, and the Longevity Way on Dead Doctors Don't Lie for these messages. We're back with Dead Doctors Don't Lie on the ZBS Radio Network. Dr. Joel Wallach here for Longevity and 90 for Life Crusade. And Douglas, go to callers.
Let's head to Montana. And Peter, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Peter, you're on the air.
Oh, hello, Dr. Wallach. Thank you for taking my call.
Yes, sir. How can we help you?
Yeah, I'm calling about my sister.
Okay.
My sister has a concern that she already have 8 kids, and after she gives birth, she breastfeeds all the kids as long as possible.
Okay.
And during the feeding, she have a big cravings for sweets, especially for cakes. And like during the pregnancy or in between, she doesn't have that cravings, and she's concerned about that.
Yep. Okay. Well, how much does she weigh now?
Okay, she's 40 years old. She's about 190 now and 5'6".
Okay. Yeah, so she has a weight challenge. At 5'6", I'd like to see her about 145, so she could lose 45 to 50 pounds. Yeah. And it's not unusual because kids, as you develop the kids inside the uterus, and also for extended breastfeeding, the babies are drawing down on her mineral supply. And when she's losing minerals faster than she's taking them in, this is what gives her the cravings. And, of course, in between the pregnancies, she's probably eating better and feeling better, maybe even taking some supplements, and so she doesn't have the cravings. But she's gained some weight over time, and so let's help her out here. First of all, I'd get her on... Does she have anything else other than weight problem? Any asthma, bronchitis, skin problems, heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes?
No.
Okay, just 45, 50 pounds.
Yeah, after the 5th baby, which is about 8-9 years ago, she got varicose veins on her legs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's...
Okay, here we go. Yeah, I'd get her off all the bad stuff, okay, which is going to inhibit absorption of nutrients and inflame her tissues and so forth and blood vessels and put her at risk of heart attacks and strokes. That means no fried foods, no processed meats with nitrates and nitrites, no oils, and no margarines, mayonnaise, salad dressings, cooking oils, absolutely no gluten, no wheat, barley, rye, and oats. At 190 pounds, with primarily a weight problem and a general deficiency, I'd start out with something simple, 2 healthy bone and joint packs, because she's 40 years old. She's probably got some osteopenia, osteoporosis, maybe even some osteoarthritis, and so back problems. So I'd throw in 2 healthy bone and joint packs. That's 1 ounce of the Osteo FX Plus at breakfast and dinner, 2 scoops of Beyond Tangerine NutriCrystals at breakfast and dinner, 3 of the EFA Pluses at breakfast and dinner, and 15 glucogel a day. That's 5 at breakfast, 5 at lunch, 5 at dinner. All that's designed, those 2 healthy bone and joint packs are designed to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone makes bone itself. And then I would throw in even the sweeties. I'd give her 2 bottles of sweeties a month, 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner. That's going to help her with cravings and weight loss. But then I would throw in ASAP, 1 bottle of ASAP per month, have her put a dropper full, not a drop, but a dropper full, which is about 20 drops, underneath her tongue, 30 minutes before each meal. And within a couple of days, she'll begin to lose anywhere from a half a pound to 2 pounds a day. And the magic here is, Peter, she'll be able to keep the weight off by staying on the 90 for life appropriate for body weight. Because remember, it's a mineral deficiency that causes the symptoms, munchies, cravings, binge eatings, that cause people to be overweight. It's not simply overeating or lack of exercise. It's a mineral deficiency. That's the basic problem here. And so give me a call every couple of weeks. Let me know how much sister weighs, how much she's losing. Start her on the diet today in Montana. It'll take 2 to 3 days to get the products to her. And so get her on the diet now. And then when the products come, any questions, give us a call. Otherwise, let us hear from you every couple of weeks. We want to know how much she weighs, any questions she has. Okay, we only have a moment left here. So, Shar, what recommendations do you have for people who want to be obsessive about their health, like you and me? You've been doing it for 25 years. I've been doing it for 68 years now. What would you advise them?
Take care of yourself like you take care of your car, you know?
Preventive maintenance. right? Take the stuff before you're sick. Then you won't get sick. What a concept. Well, thank you, Shar. Super job as usual. Thank you so much, Doug and Richard. Superlative job as usual. God bless each and every one of you. God bless our troops. God bless our Navy SEALs. And God bless America.